I've been working on for about 3 years now. It started, it is a hobby. It's just a hobby of mine. It's called Meshtastic. And basically, I'm going to try to skim over these slides really quick to show you the demonstration. It operates on LoRa, it's GPS capable, you're able to transmit telemetry, it's a communication device, very low power, and it's open source. So the first slide here is the LoRa protocol. In the United States, we use the 915 megahertz band for these radios. I built this radio. Well, I bought the 3D printer case, I like 3D printer. I put it all together and wired it up. In the United States, we use the ISM band. It's the Industrial, Scientific, and Medical band. It's a license-free band. Anybody can use it. And you can use it up through these radios to transmit. These radios have a link budget. So if you've ever been in a room and you've had your cell phone sitting somewhere, you had headphones in, you try to go to another room and it starts cutting out. Well, you've expended your link budget. Now with these radios, they have a high link budget. So you can get very long distances and still have stable connections. And I think the record was set in the UK for 205 miles. And these radios function at very low energy. So that's incredible distance. They're low bandwidth radios, so one of the reasons that we can get that range is because we're not sending a lot of information, we're just sending blips of information. When you're sending photos, videos, multimedia, you're expending a lot of bandwidth to do that. We sacrifice the bandwidth in order to get range. Line of sight, they rely on line. A lot of radios rely on line of sight. Your cell phone actually relies on line of sight. Cell phone towers are all over the hills because your cell phone has to have a line of sight. That's how dead spots are created. So most radios rely on line of sight. GPS, it's free to use. So I didn't know this at first until I got into these radios, but GPS is free to use. You can buy a little GPS module, configure it into whatever device you want, and the FCC isn't going to come looking for you saying, hey, you owe us like $7.95 for 4 years of service. It's free. It makes it great for search and rescue. They're free to use. So essentially, aside from the cost of buying the device and setting the device up, some like EMS can use them for free. Ski resorts, if somebody gets hurt on top of a hill, you have their GPS capable, so you'll be able to track them for free. So really, you're only looking at the cost to maintain the system. Off-grid. So these don't rely on cell phone service, Wi-Fi, no networks. It's completely off-grid. Also, most of my devices are powered because they're so low powered. I power them by solar panels, small solar panels. And I've had devices running for probably a good part of a year now, just chugging away on solar power. Dilution of precision. So these radios are not precise, not exactly precise. So they have a dilution of precision to protect privacy, basically. Some radios, I noticed, some GPS modules are more precise than others. But these particular radios are off by maybe like 50 feet, or you can set them for 200 miles or yards, rather, to protect privacy. Telemetry. So this radio right here has a temperature, pressure, humidity, and air quality sensors. Most of my devices have those sensors in them. So the reality is, here in Broome County, I've set up a network. It exists now. Anybody can buy these radios and use the network that I built. And they're like little weather stations. You could you know, see from here on campus, you can see what the temperature is on Round Top and Endicott. I don't actually have a radio on Endicott, I'm just using that for an example. I have one on the South Mountain in Johnson City. But anywhere you set up a radio, it adds to the network. Communication. So these radios have text message capabilities, and most of them you can connect to your phone through Bluetooth. There are standalone devices that completely are off grid. You don't need a cell phone or anything to use it. Yes, it does look like a BlackBerry. Very long range. Like I said, the record's 205 miles, and that's pretty impressive for 1 watt. It's 256-bit encryption. So it's a mesh network, so they use radios. So like if somebody here had a radio, when I'm trying to reach somebody in the back of the room and I'm out of range from them, it'll bounce off this person's radio and go to the person in the back of the room, but the person in the middle can't ever see the message unless they can crack 256-bit encryption. That's incredibly hard. Decentralized, no subscription, again, free. Everybody loves that free word. It's a community-based network, so people in the community can contribute to it. And it's not really owned by anybody. Very low power. So just to give you an idea, radio towers transmit at 50,000 watts. Cell phone towers, 100 watts or less per channel. So you got to figure if you're on a cell phone, you're using up one channel. You know, you get 1,000 people on one cell tower, that's a lot of power. These operate at 1 watt. Communication towers can use 24 kilowatts, 240 kilowatts per day. It's a lot of energy. Meshtastic consumes 200 to 300 milliamp hours per day, and can run as low as 10 to 50 with more efficient configuration. The devices can be configured to operate on solar only for extremely long periods of time. There's people that have radios on top of mountains that have just been chugging away for years. As long as you have a robust power storage system in there, you can set up a repeater on top of the mountain and just get incredible coverage. It's open source. Like I said, it's a community open configuration. It's a community-based system, so anybody can buy these devices and configure and add to the network any way they choose. I have a device in my backyard that I have like a lux sensor on. I have the temperature and humidity sensor. You know, they're perfect for like greenhouses. You can configure them to measure soil like humidity in a greenhouse, soil moisture, temperature, soil temperature. Decentralized, license-free. So these are some of the pros and cons. So it is decentralized. Anybody, again, like that's also a con. Anybody can use it. So just like your cell phone, you know, ethically, if somebody buys a cell phone, you can't really, you know, control what they do with it. Somebody can use it for not good purposes. And at times it can be unreliable because it's a community-based system. If I'm talking to somebody back there, bouncing through somebody's node and they just hit or take their node down, well, I'm not going to have that connection anymore. It's cost effective. Units range from $20 to $100 you can buy or build. Peer-to-peer communication devices. So I can send out messages covering blanketing everybody that has a node, or just one person if I choose. So this is Binghamton right now. This is basically some of these nodes I've built. Some of them, some people have already jumped in and have built. This is a connection between Preston, New York, and Binghamton. This was a stable-ish connection, so most of the text messages I sent back and forth got an acknowledgement packet. This was unstable connection, which means I could text somebody, but they couldn't text me back. I could text them because the equipment I was using was a little bit more robust than what they had. But that's 62 miles. That's significant distance. So this is far enough where you start to kind of need to use a formula to calculate the curvature of the Earth. So that becomes a problem at those distances. This is the tower that I was standing on. It was a fire tower, the Yagi antenna. This is the solar node. This is a solar node that I just put up and it just runs. The only thing I ever really have to do is go back and flash updates. Updates, because of the nature of the devices, they don't receive updates automatically like your phone and your laptop and stuff. This is a handheld unit. This is a card tracker. It's another card tracker. That's the size of a credit card. Right here I have one. And that's it. Oh, I can do a demonstration real quick. So I remote into my Raspberry Pi at home, controlling my node. And what I can do is I can message here. So this might work. We're in a concrete chamber right now. So I can get messages into this room. I just can't get them back out of this room. As soon as you hit Earth, it shuts the signal down. So the Earth absorbs it. So if you hit a hill or anything, it's going to shut it down. But the link budget can go through like concrete, glass, and stuff like that and still survive. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you. I'm a second year EET student. I also work at EAE Systems. I'm an engineering technologist there.
Fantastic. Do you have questions?
Does weather affect that at all?
So it does, but not to a significant degree. The signal operates well below the noise floor, so it's very hard to jam. It can go long distances. Basically what that means is even if this receives a very, very faint signal, it still receives it. It'll still digest it.
Why use ISM instead of ham as your radio frequency?
It's license free, basically. Even GMRS, General Mobile Radio Services, it requires a license. Of course, the FCC's never going to, in a million years, enforce that. But ISM is a license free band.
How did you get it so low power?
How did I get it so low power?
So low power.
So low power. So the LoRa protocol can like how do you say this? LoRa is a low power protocol anyway. Again, with the bandwidth, not having to use tons of bandwidth, they're just perfect for low power.
Probably should wait till the end. Maybe one more quick question.
What about LoRa armor risk?
What's that?
Are the radios running on armor risk architecture chips?
What's that? What's the
Are the radios running on